Welcome everybody to the October 23rd, 2018 meeting of the Carbondale Unified School District Board of Trustees meeting. We're going to start with flag salute. Please stand if you're able. Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everybody. I see a good representation of Mr. Bison's class, so welcome everybody. Just for the audience purposes too, if you'd like to speak tonight on any agenda item, you fill out a blue slip over there. For items not on the agenda, that will be in the public comment section. Okay. So we're going to start off with our report from closed session, B2 conference with real property negotiators, and I think we have a motion for that. On the back.
Oh, yes, it is. Sorry. I move to appoint Maureen Fitzgerald to issue and negotiate successor leases in place of Hutton Parker at the main school site.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All right, we're on to C3, approval of minutes. Get a motion?
I move that we approve the minutes of regular meeting of October 9th, 2018.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
C4, approval of agenda and consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Roll call?
Rogelio?
Aye.
Jacqueline?
Aye.
Michelle?
Aye.
And I'm aye.
All right, we're on to item E, public interest report and presentations. Our student representative is not here right now, so we'll table that unless she's not coming. Monica? Do you know if our student rep is coming tonight?
She said she was coming.
Okay.
I have the report.
We'll come back to that. Okay, and we'll go on to E2, recognition.
Thank you. So I'll begin with the high school, and on behalf of Principal Corneo, he'd like to recognize Mr. Noe Gomez for organizing our first pumpkin patch at the high school. Over 240 students, TK to K, from Aliso, Catalino, and Summerlin and Family School enjoyed selecting their pumpkins and learning about pumpkins from the FFA CHS students. So thank you, Mr. Gomez. And then on behalf of Rincon, Principal Gloger, he'd like to recognize Troy Berkness from the Department of Rehab. For the past year, he's been working with Rincon High School students to provide work readiness training, self-advocacy, school preparation assistance, job exploration, and so much more. Troy is very positive, and his support for the Rincon students has made a significant impact. And then at the middle school, Principal O'Shea, she'd like to recognize math teacher Beatrice Hernandez for supporting staff and students in the use of digital tools and technology in the classroom. And at Catalino and Family School, Principal Pursoon would like to recognize Ernie Kai, Cindy Abbott, and Dave Winiger for their leadership and hard work on the beautiful Gen 7 new buildings that students and staff are gratefully occupying. On behalf of Aliso, Principal Fox would like to recognize all the amazing fifth grade teachers for providing students with an amazing CME experience. And then at Summerlin, Principal Fox would like to recognize the Summerlin Parent Group for their support of Summerlin students. They donated 41 Chromebooks to support 2nd to 5th graders.
Okay, thank you to our CUSD employees. Okay, we're going to return to item E1 and welcome Marissa here with her report.
Congratulations for homecoming queen.
Thank
We're
you.
so proud.
Thank you. On Thursday and Friday, October 11th through the 12th, Carpenter High School Agriculture Program FFA hosted 240 TK students from Catalino, Aliso, Summerlin, and Family School for the first annual pumpkin patch. High school students in Mr. Gomez's class were the guides to all the future warriors of the classes of 2031 and 2032. A story was read to all the students about the life of a pumpkin, and they grow from a small seed. From Sunday, October 14th through Wednesday, October 17th, A visiting committee from the Western Association of Schools and Colleges, WASC, visited Carpenter High School to validate our self-study. Committee members had an opportunity to meet with parents, teachers, classified staff members, district leadership, and students. During their first time at CHS, they were impressed with the positive educational culture, the wide variety of courses offering and services. In 2019, we will be notified by the WASC of the accreditation term. Last week was our Spirit Week, and it was a lot of fun. Each class competed against each other for the best school spirit. On Friday, during 8th period, we had a spirit parade and the winning class was announced. The 2018-2019 Spirit Award went to the junior class. On October 16th, our annual Mr. Warrior contest was held at the middle school, and Vance Kaiser was crowned as 2018-2019 Mr. Warrior. Runner-up was Christopher Ramirez. On Friday, during our homecoming game, I was crowned homecoming queen of the 2018-2019. And on Saturday, over 250 students participated in our homecoming dance. Tomorrow, October 24th, we will be holding one of the 2 blood drives at Carpenter High School. Students under the age of 18 need parent permissions to donate blood. Interested students should see Miss Bradley to sign up. Also tomorrow, October 24th, 40 students will be traveling to the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library in Simi Valley to experience the dramatic Situation Room experience. Students get to role-play an international crisis and develop leadership, communication, and team skills to solve the situation. Finally, EAOP and Santa Barbara Scholarship Foundation will be providing a FAFSA/DREAM Act College Application Assistance Workshop on October 24th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. in the G2 lab.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, we're on to E3 Superintendent Report.
Okay, so I'd like to begin with some appreciation. I'd like to recognize the high school principal, Corneo, Assistant Principal Ray Vasquez, and the WASC Site Coordinator, Sarah Rocklitzer, and the WASC Leadership Team, Chrissy Gilbert, Mandy DeWitt, Peter Cotty, Jean Bisson, and Rob Hill, and the entire CHS staff and the students for their excellent WASC report in preparation for the WASC visit. They did a great job, so we appreciate that. Another item is that last week was the Great California Shakeout. Our schools and district participated in the Great California Shakeout. It's designed to provide a sense of urgency about earthquakes and to encourage individuals, organizations, schools, and communities to be prepared, to practice what to do to be safe, and to learn what plans to be improved. So last year, more than 9.4 million Californians practiced drop, cover, and hold on, and other safety procedures as part of the Shakeout drill. Students and staff in more than 400 districts and many private schools accounted for that 6.4 million participants. Another item is you already heard about the FFA in which we participated in the pumpkin patch. So we're appreciative of the FFA and teacher Noe Gomez. Another item I wanted to share with you is last week we submitted a $508,700 grant to the State Department to increase the high school students' access to technology and to develop an engineering and product design academy at the high school. The recent WASC self-study identified the lack of technology and the use of technology available to students as an area of growth. And we all agree that we need to better prepare our students to interact in a digital world. Our goal is to transform the teaching and learning experiences of high school teachers and students by providing one-to-one access to Chromebooks, as well as providing an engineering pathway in career technical education. So the grant, the $500,000 grant, would fund 335 Chromebooks for all CHS students in grades 10 through 12, because this year all the freshmen have already been provided their own laptop. It would also fund a full-time technology specialist, and that would be a staff member who would train and assist teachers in using a variety of digital tools to increase student engagement. So it would be an on-site technology coach for all the teachers to support them in integrating those digital tools. In addition, we need teacher release time and stipend to participate in professional development summer institutes, because our expectation is that all of our teachers would earn the Google certifications levels 1, 2, and 3. We also would we need to provide teacher stipends for teacher technology leaders in each department. We'd identify in each of the departments, math, social studies, English, science, and applied arts, a tech leader that can assist their colleagues in their particular content area to integrate the technology. And then we'd also support a Genius Bar, which would be staffed by students in the Library Media Center. So we are hoping that we receive positive feedback from the grant, but if not, I submitted it to several other foundations. So that's what we do every week is we submit grants. The CTE funds, however, will support the full-time engineering teacher, and we are requesting funds in this particular grant to fund the equipment for the Engineering Academy. So you'll be hearing more about this Engineering Academy because we hope to have it implemented and ready for the next fall, for students for next fall. Another grant we submitted was to Cottage Health, and that was a grant for $76,117 to fund a full-time school-based mental health therapist at the middle school. You are aware that we have our START therapists, which at each school site. However, they're limited in only serving students who are Medi-Cal eligible. And at the middle school, we have a number of students who are experiencing some mental health issues in which they need a full-time therapist to support them and their families. We work closely with the Family Resource Center at Carpinteria Children's Project at Main School, but we need to provide the therapeutic services at the school site. So we submitted the grant to Cottage Hospital, and we expect to hear within the next few weeks. Another item that I wanted to share with you is about digital citizenship. Our elementary students participate in digital citizenship lessons every week that's provided by our library media technicians. We want our elementary students to learn how to think critically, behave safely, and participate responsibly in a digital world. So our goal for our students is to develop communication skills, collaboration skills, creativity, and critical thinking skills. We use Common Sense Media, which is open source, and it's at www.commonsensemedia.org. And the lessons provided by Common Sense are identified for each grade level, and there are 8 areas: relationships and communication, privacy and security, internet safety, cyberbullying and digital drama, digital footprint and reputation, self-imagery and identity, information literacy, and creative credit and copyright. I also want to invite all of our parents to participate in a Parent Ed Night on Internet safety. It will be sponsored by AHA, and it's Thursday, November 8th at the middle school at 7 p.m., and that will be a night on Internet safety. However, all of our school sites this year will be offering parent education on Internet safety. And then the last item is the update on Measure U. So we're so excited because we actually moved into our new Gen 7 classrooms at Canalino, 3 family school classrooms and 3 Canalino classrooms. The students are thrilled. They're so excited. What they love about is the day lighting and the air. So you know that we have temperate air, so it's at 68, between 68 and 72. So it's very, very comfortable and very fresh. So they're excited, and they have new desks and all the technology and all the whiteboards, so they're excited. Right now, the contractors are working on the Gen 7 classrooms for the middle school, so they'll move in January. And we submitted our application for the coastal development permit for Main School. And then meetings will be held for the Architectural Review Board and the Planning Commission. In addition, the Measure U team is working with a consultant for compiling data that's required. We need to secure a coastal development permit for Summerlin School that you have to file with the County of Santa Barbara. We've already met with the Summerlin Architectural Review Board, and we'll be meeting with the County Architectural Review Board. And then these boards will then provide input to the County Planning Commission. So we have 2 architectural review boards and the County Commission to get our coastal development permit. So that's a lot of preparation, a lot of meetings, but very exciting. And then the last item is our Measure U bond sale. So we're very excited because last Thursday, our Series B bond sale of $40 million hit the market. And we had 9 interest bidders that inquired about it, and then we had 7 qualified bids, which break a record. So we're very proud about that. The awarding bid went to Citigroup Global Markets, and our awarding bid came in under the 4% interest rate, which was required by our POS. And the underwriter's fee at 5.2, which is well below the 10.0. So that's the best possible outcome that we could expect. And so the next step is involving a lot of paperwork to finalize financing the documents, and we're really appreciative of Assistant Superintendent of Business and Finance, Maureen Fitzgerald, because she has shepherded this whole process. So we expect the funds to be available on November 8th. Very exciting. And then the pictograph that you have that's on the report is very interesting. This is from Domo, and it's in 2018, every minute of the day. These are all the logons for each of these websites. So you have over 3 million searches in a minute for Google. Netflix, 97,000. LinkedIn, more than 120,000. 4 million of YouTube every minute. So welcome to our digital world. This is why we better prepare our students. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we are on to E4, a safety presentation update from our Pupil Services Administrator, Safety Officer, Barnaby Gloger.
Thanks, Barnaby.
Barnaby, come on up.
I didn't say anything yet. You're already thanking me. Thanks. All right. Just want to make sure I've got the button right. All right, perfect. Okay. All right, can everybody hear me okay?
Thank you.
I think it's on. The green light's on. Just far away from it. All right. Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening, board, staff, and students and community members that are here. Welcome. I am Barnaby Gloger. I am the principal of Rincon and Foothill High Schools, as well as the Pupil Services Administrator for the school district. And in that role as Pupil Services Administrator, I serve as Safety Officer as well. So I'm here tonight to give you a brief update on some of our safety efforts. Something I stole from someone a long time ago, don't remember when or who, but I say a lot, is students learn best, and I think staff work best when they feel safe. So the safer we feel, the best we can learn, take tests, perform our job duties. But it all starts with feeling safe on campus, feeling safe in our classrooms. And so obviously the focus and efforts on safety are so important to everything we do, from board meetings to our classroom. And in order to have the highest test scores, and in order to be CIF champs again, things like that, the safer we feel, the more capable we will be in doing that. So what I also want to share is that safety is not just a safety training. Safety is wide, it is complicated, it is comprehensive, it is in every part of every day, and is from the relationship and rapport staff have with their students to our safety trainings. There's so many different aspects of safety that are so important. Students' mental health, people feeling valued and appreciated, all of this goes into it. Facilities that are safe, facilities that keep people in and keep people out in the right direction. And so so safety is such a big topic. I couldn't possibly go into all that there is to give you a full safety update tonight. But I want to touch on a couple areas, specifically in our emergency preparedness, and that has to do with a couple programs we've adopted and programs we would like to adopt, one being Hour Zero, the other is ALICE training, and also be available to address any other questions you have. So I'm going to move on to the next slide. And this slide is directly from our board policy. We at CUSD, at Carpenter Unified School District, all of us are committed to safety. The governing board recognizes that students and staff have the right to a safe and secure campus where they are free from physical and psychological harm. The board, thank you very much, the board is fully committed to maximizing school safety, to creating a positive learning environment that includes strategies for violence prevention and high expectations for student conduct, responsible behavior, and respect for others. So this is our commitment, all of our commitment. And so I want to thank you for being bold and making this commitment, and I want to let you know how much this supports our efforts and what we do that is safety-minded. So for the last 2 years, we've been integrating Hour Zero into our safety efforts at Carpenter Unified School District, 2.5 years. Hour Zero, if you're not familiar with it or need a refresher, is an online emergency preparedness program that provides tools, technology, and training to support school safety efforts. So Hour Zero has a website. All of our staff have online accounts, every staff at CUSD, in which they can access their Hour Zero account. They can store safety information on here. They can put in their own safety credentials. They can access online training modules through this account and other safety information. There's a lot of different resources that are available on this account. We've made a lot of progress this school year with Hour Zero, and there's still more to the website and more to the what Hour Zero has available to us that we haven't even tapped into yet. So it's a tool that's available to us. We're using part of it. We're getting better about it. We could be using even more, and we will get there. But as far as the changes this year and the updates this year, we have developed a training program for all CUSD staff, a calendar of doing these online training modules once a month as a staff. And so I want to give you that calendar right now, and that's in the next slide. And so this just briefly outlines the different trainings that are expected of all staff members to complete this school year. You'll see on here, oops, it's not up to date here. Oh. You'll see on here that we did a training on status cards in August. And so I have a hard copy of this I want to pass out. So Hour Zero, we worked with Hour Zero to make these safety packets that are hanging in every classroom and every office in the district now. So it includes a summary of sort of what to do scenarios. So if there was a lockdown, these are the steps you follow. If there was an evacuation, then you use these status cards to let law enforcement, administration know that everything is okay, or that there's a minor incident, you're missing someone, or you need help, and it's a serious situation. So these packets are, like I said, in every classroom and every office, but we don't just give the packets and hope everybody figures it out. The nice thing about Hour Zero is all the materials are aligned with their trainings. So there was a training in August that staff should have completed. If not, they may have completed it in September or will soon, on how to use the status cards. So they got this packet. They then completed a training, just a 15, 20-minute presentation online about how to use the status card. So I'm going to bring this over for you. Have you guys seen this in your classroom, Amy?
That's a good check.
Yeah. Because if they said no, we don't. All right, so we have the safety packets. We have staff train on how to use status cards. Then in September, we did a training on lockdown procedures. This month, our training is on hold and secure procedures, emergency procedures. And then if you look on the calendar, that's the rest of our year. The idea would be every year you redo these trainings. At the end of the online training, there's a quiz to assess the learner's learning. And then there is a certificate that they receive. So at the end of this school year, our staff will all be trained in these different areas, and then next year they will be retrained. And so it'll be ongoing. One of the things we did this year for new hires, our new staff, is during the orientation at the beginning of the year, I introduced them to the Hour Zero account and website and did a brief training on the active shooter training there that we did last spring for the rest of the CUSD staff. So they're been familiarized as well. Let's see, what else for Hour Zero? Oh, no, I think I said everything about the status cards. Okay, moving on. So the next emergency preparedness program that we are wanting to implement is ALICE. ALICE is a training specifically to respond and be prepared for an active shooter situation. So ALICE stands for Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Counter, and Evacuate. And not in any particular order. It's not designed that way, but these are the main components that they train on. And so the way that their training works is that they train certain members of a school district to then train the rest of the staff. And what they do is blended learning, where they do hands-on training as well as what's called e-learning, where staff do online training a lot like we're doing Hour Zero. There's a big difference between Hour Zero and ALICE, is that ALICE is specifically focused on one training area, one emergency response. And so it's much more in-depth. ALICE has become the best known, best supported training for emergency response for dealing with an active shooter or an intrusion like that at a school or office. They're not just in schools, but offices as well. So I've got some handouts that I'm going to bring up here, some for the audience. This is on the side, but the other
Oh, I see. I got it. Okay. Is this for us or
Yeah,
just
this
pass
is
it
for
around?
you.
Oh, okay.
just more information.
I got one extra.
Thanks, Barnaby.
Oh, okay. No, actually, no, we got enough.
There's 3 different ones.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Thanks.
Sure.
Thanks.
Okay, so ALICE is a training program that empowers individuals to participate in their own survival using proactive response strategies in the face of violence. They, like I said, they have a model, a learning model that's blended learning. So they complement the e-learning, the online training, with a hands-on training. The hands-on training is provided by individuals who are trained within the organization. So last June, Santa Barbara County Office of Education sent me to Santa Maria Police Department to go through an ALICE Train the Trainer certification process, and so I did that, and so now I'm a certified trainer. We have been working with the Safety Department at Procore because they are introducing this into Procore as well, just up the road, and so they are hosting a training in January, and they've invited us to attend, and some members some administrators from Carpenter Unified School District will be in attendance to do a 2-day training over winter break, so that's commitment, a 2-day training on how to train staff in the ALICE strategies. And so then in the spring, all staff at CUSD will be trained through the online program as well as doing the hands-on training provided by our staff at CUSD to do the trainings through the different staff meetings. So that's the plan. The nice thing about training our own staff as certified trainers is they're part of the district. We don't have to bring in an outside trainer every time to get new staff up to date. And then we would do this training annually. It's a 3-year certification process with ALICE, and then we would be an ALICE certified school district. ALICE has the backing of organizations, many organizations, Department of Homeland Security, FBI, CIA. They all promote ALICE as the best training program for active shooters in public spaces. So they know what they're talking about. They do a good job. It's a terrible, awful thing to have to think about or plan for, but I'd rather be planned for it than not planned for it. So that's the ALICE training. In regards to other safety efforts, we do continue to meet monthly with our district safety committee with representatives from most school sites. And then also each school site has a site safety committee or a school site council that reviews safety issues. Anytime a safety issue comes up, it may be something that's happening at other school sites, so that item can be brought to our district safety committee, discussed, dialogue there, and any questions, concerns, recommendations, proposals move from the district safety committee to the leadership team and the superintendent for their review. And safety efforts are happening or are being developed and changed through that communication feedback loop. And so good things are happening. Our schools are safe, and they're going to get safer the more we can focus on school safety efforts. So thank you very much for having me. Are there any questions or any clarification needed?
Questions? Comments? Nothing?
Well, just thanks. Thanks for the thorough job you're doing, and you can tell you really like it because of your enthusiasm. So
It's important.
it is important, and I think staff, I certainly know, recognizes it, and I think the students are becoming aware of how committed the district is to their safety and with the awareness that we're bringing forth. So thank you.
Thank you.
And Barnaby, I'd also like to acknowledge your leadership on the safety committee, as well as all of our safety trainings. We really appreciate your leadership and your support. Done a great job. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thank
Barnaby,
you.
and I would like to repeat what you said. Safety results in better learning, better test scores, and a better overall environment. And
It's all connected.
that's true.
Yep.
Thank
Yep.
you.
So thanks for all your support with that.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Barnaby.
Thanks.
Okay, we're on to item E5 dashboard, local indicators presentation from Superintendent Rigby.
Thank you. So this is a requirement by the California Department of Education, and it's a measurement tool to ensure that we use self-reflection tools in developing the LCAP. The state has identified 8 local indicators, and priorities: basic services, which consists of teacher assignments, which means that we have the appropriately credentialed teachers assigned to the appropriate courses, access to curriculum and instruction, and clean facilities, implementation of state academic standards, parent engagement, school climate, and access to a broad course of study. We also have standards that require us to measure progress, and we have to report the results at a board meeting. So that's what I'm doing tonight. And then we upload the results to our dashboard. And you know that at the CDE website, there's a dashboard for every school district. So when we measure the results, we have either met the standard, not met the standard, or not met the standard for 2 or more years. So our goal is to meet all standards. That's the rating, and that's what our goal is. So we include all of our self-reflection tools in this report, and then we upload the information on the dashboard. If we don't do this report, we have not met the requirement. So let's talk about the first priority. It's appropriately assigned teachers, access to curriculum-aligned instructional materials, and safe, clean, and functional school facilities. So this is related to the Williams settlement requirements, and you'll recall that every quarter I report on whether or not we've fulfilled the responsibility to ensure that all students have access to all the curriculum materials. In addition, we have to make sure that we provide the local community with all of our school accountability report card information and the district report card information. And that's posted on our websites. So you'll notice in the next slide that we have not misassigned teachers. We don't have students without access of materials, and our facilities do not are not below the standard for good repair. So we passed priority 1. For priority 2, we had to rate our progress in providing professional learning for teachers in our adopted frameworks. So we have been focusing on the last year with our new materials in English Language Arts and ELD. So that's our initial implementation. Math, we adopted new materials 2 years ago, so we are in full implementation. Next generation science, we adopted new materials, so that's initial implementation. And history, social science, the state is just developing that framework. So we're in the development phase for history, social science. And then the next step is the instructional materials. So you'll see that we're full implementation for English Language Arts, ELD, and math. And next generation science is initial, and social science, again, is just research. And then this continues again. We're in initial implementation for developing policy and programs to support the staff for all the 3 areas, ELA, ELD, and math and science, 4 areas, and just beginning with social science. Then in the other areas, career tech, health, PE, visual performing arts, and world language. These areas mostly refer to high school. Health. So for high school, for career tech, we're in full implementation. Health, initial, PE full, visual performing arts initial, and world language full. But in the middle school for health, we're just in the beginning because we have not implemented a health course at the middle school, and we are in the process of developing it. It will be implemented in 7th grade next year in complements of PE. So it'll be PE and fitness, health and fitness course, in which 7th grade students will take PE and health on alternate days. The next area as part of priority 2 is that we participate in professional learning. And this year, because we've implemented early release on every Wednesday for elementary schools and middle school, we've provided time for teachers to collaborate and also to participate in professional learning. In addition, in the high school, they have late start Mondays, so we've provided support for our teachers to engage in professional learning. So we're in initial implementation. The next item is parent engagement, and we assess parent engagement every year. When we administer the Healthy Kids Survey, we have parent sections, and the parents respond in terms of input. So if you look at the next slide, you'll see the results. Our goal is to have more than 90% of our parents respond. Hi, the next slide. Oh, great, thanks. Okay. So our goal here is to have 90%, and you'll notice that the area that we need growth in is school actively seeks parent input before making important decisions. So I don't know if that's a perception or if that's been the experience, but regardless, we need to research why that's the response, that it's only 79%, and we need to figure out strategies to improve that to more than 90%. What I'm encouraged about is that parents do believe that they are welcomed at school and they're encouraged to be partners in their children's education, and that they feel like we're asking for parent input. Another area that is a priority is school climate. Again, we receive feedback throughout the year in just informal feedback and working with parents and teachers and students. But in addition, we have the formal feedback from the Healthy Kids Survey. So if you look at the next slide, that's responses from 5th, 7th, 9th, and 11th grade. Again, these are the areas directly related to school climate. Our expectation is the response will be 90% or more. So we're encouraged that more than 90% of our students feel connected to school, and more than 90% feel safe at school, and close to 90% feel that we have caring adults in school. What is challenging or a little bit discouraging is that only about 80% believe that we are academically motivating our students. So this is an area of growth and an area that we need to focus on as educators and teachers and leaders, is that we need to figure out improved strategies for inspiring students and motivating students to engage in academic work. Are you snickering out there? No, I'm only kidding. We have a big audience of students, so they're probably thinking, who's motivating me? We're going to do a better job. And the last priority is access to a broad course of study. And this standard is directly related to the accessibility that we offer for all students in disaggregated groups to access to courses. So let me give you an example. For our AP courses, we invite all students who feel like that they can meet the standards of the coursework to participate. We do not have entry exams for AP, which is, or prerequisites or requirements, which is unusual for a high school. So we definitely meet this standard. So we've met all our standards, and so we can submit the indicators to the dashboard, and I've reported to the board. So check,
Questions,
unless you
comments?
had questions about it.
I think because we're going to get a report on the Healthy Kids survey.
Yes.
In the fall or the
In
spring.
the spring, because
yeah.
they're taking it, and they'll be taking
taking
it
it
pretty soon.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it'd be interesting. I'd like to maybe get more in depth then, but what the questions are, how they're coming to these conclusions about academic motivation, like what the questions actually are being asked, which questions are being asked, and because it's pretty much across the board.
Yes.
That's my only comment. I don't think. I mean, I'm guessing you don't have that information in front of you.
Well, I don't want to say it off the top of my head because I'm not going to be
Yeah.
precise.
Yeah.
But I can tell you generally it's the students responding to a question that is similar to this. Do you feel that your coursework, that your classes are motivating or challenging? Do you feel that you're motivated to spend a lot of time on academic content? I mean, it's around those questions.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to have a follow-up question, if along those lines that said, "What would make you feel motivated?"
Well, that's what we're
Yeah,
asking.
well, I know, but
I mean,
are we asking that?
That's what we need to do.
Okay,
Yes, that's
yeah.
our next step. Is we need to
Because
figure out.
I'd like to talk to these
Absolutely.
guys and find out what does, because they're all going to be motivated differently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our work. That's
It is-
exactly
it is-
our work.
it is our
Oh,
work,
you're
yeah.
right on point. Yes, that's our next step.
All right.
Is to the first step in figuring out is to ask the students.
Do we have
Well, I'm going to
any
ask you all
public
that when you
comment?
come up here to get your signatures.
If you would like to comment, you can fill out a blue slip and give us some feedback on it. Anybody interested in that? Going once, going twice. Anybody? There are. Yeah, they're right there.
There are.
This is your chance to tell us what you
He's
think.
not. Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
You can just get up there and
Yeah,
talk.
Go
Go
on
ahead
up.
and just yeah.
You can fill it out after.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Is the mic working?
Yeah.
It is.
So what do you think of the data?
Well, I guess my name's Luciano Cortese, your local ratty teenager. My first question would be about the technology, talking about implementing Chromebooks for all the grades. I know we already have a number of laptops, like 40 or 60, that we have in carts that we distribute around campus occasionally. What would happen to those if we implement Chromebooks?
Oh, they'd be distributed as well. They'd be part of that group, so everyone would have their own.
Okay. Secondly, speaking about safety. Oh, I'm on TV.
Yeah.
I would personally, I don't know if this goes for the rest of my peers, I would enjoy a first aid class of some sort, not having to be during school time, but perhaps during 7th period, maybe after school.
Okay.
Because I remember we got like 1 or 2 days of training in middle school, which I didn't really get because it was middle school. And it's never been touched upon again. I figured it'd be useful in all sorts of situations. Aside from that, I know there are a few people in the audience that want me to talk about the cafeteria food.
Okay. Okay.
It's not garbage, but it is. It's serviceable. That's what I'd call it. But I would like to ask for a little bit of higher quality in the items. For example, instead of soy chorizo burritos, I'd like to go back to regular meat chorizo. Things like that, for example. I mean, they called an enchilada a Mediterranean plate. So, I think that's about it. Does anybody else have anything that I should say? Okay,
Thank you.
well, I
Those
think
are
I'm
great
done
suggestions.
I've got a question for you, Luciano.
Yeah.
But getting back to what we were talking about as far as academic motivation, do you feel motivated academically?
I think pressured would be the more
Pressured.
accurate word.
Do you feel pressure academically?
Yes.
Okay, but what? Because I'm sure this question is the answer is different for each and every one of you. But what motivates you to do better academically in school?
To be honest, I think I would give a different answer than a lot of people. Personally, the reason I want to do good in school is more of an emotional reason than any academic reason. It's just like the feeling of doing good in school.
Of being
and
successful?
of being proud of your success is what drives me to get good grades. Not that I'm getting them right now. But yeah, I'd say for me personally, that's what it is. I can't speak for everybody else.
Because it's going to be a different response from everybody. But I think part of our goal and the administrators' goals is to find out how, because you're not going to be able to motivate everyone at exactly the same level, but being able to change the curriculum or give you assignments that are able to keep you motivated, so you want to do better, so that you can achieve your goals and dreams, and go on to school or go on to a career and be engaged. I mean, I think the engagement is pretty good at the high school, all things considered. And it'd be nice but it'd be good to get this feedback from you all, so that the teachers and the administrators know how they can do a better job. Because you are the customer. Remember that.
Yeah, I would agree about the engagement. But I would believe that is at least partly due to the fact that we are such a small school with only like 20 to 30 kids per classroom, that it's a lot more personal with the teachers. I know, for example, like Dos Pueblos and Santa Barbara High have thousands of kids, so it's probably a much different experience.
Yeah, great.
All right, I think I'm done now.
Thank you.
All right. We have some more speaker slips, I think. Go ahead and give them to Monica. She'll call your name when you're ready. Yeah. Great.
Okay, next we have Virginia Frausto.
Regina.
Hi, I'm Virginia Frosto. So, on the issue of academic motivation, we have a program at our school called AVID. And the thing is that AVID is very exclusive to some people, and it's also very not promoted to students as well on campus. And I think it's a great opportunity for more students, and it motivates you definitely to like a family. And also, we don't receive that much funds. Like last year, we put in a lot of requests for field trips to go to campuses, and a lot of people, we didn't get any of them approved until this year. And also, I just wanted to comment that I think our school is very tracked, I would say, because on the issue of motivation, some students, when they enter high school, they're in basic classes or in lower level classes, and then it's really hard for them to like rise to higher level classes because they're not motivated enough. They think that they have to stay there since they started there.
Good feedback.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Regina.
Yeah.
Next we have Alani Gonzalez.
Hi,
Hello, my name is Alani Gonzalez. I had a question regarding the statistics that you have on the school climate. I noticed that it's only showing the responses for 5th, 7th, 9th, and 11th graders, and I think the responses would be a lot different and more statistically significant if you were to interview 10th and 12th graders because, for instance, for the caring adults in school, as you go from 7th through 11th grade, you'll notice that the numbers get progressively higher. And caring adults in school, I feel like once you're with the teachers for a longer period of time and once you get to know them better, that percentage is going to go up. So while I do think that these numbers are accurate for each individual class, I don't think it's accurate for the school as a whole. And I'm thinking that maybe if you were to interview more people, you'd get more accurate results for the larger population.
Yep, absolutely
That's
right. That's
very
it.
observant. And just so you know that those are the grades that we're mandated to do, but that makes a good point. We could always do other anecdotal groups. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, also, again, I think that senior input is very important. I mean, I'm a little biased and say I'm a senior, but I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody else in here is seniors. Yeah, everybody else in here is seniors, and I don't want to speak for everybody else, but I feel like we would feel a lot more confident if we felt like we were listened to a little bit more in our school, if we gave input and we felt like we were actually being listened to, because I think right now, unless we come to city council or school board meetings, we're not necessarily heard, or things don't go through to higher authority as quickly, and you have to repeat things multiple times and send multiple emails, and things don't always go through, which I think is a bit frustrating because some of these things that we're discussing are important for not only the school, like just youth livelihood in general. So I think that maybe just adults perhaps listening to students a little bit more is an issue that I would want to touch on. But that's all I have.
Thank you. That's
Very
really
helpful.
good input. You have a question?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a question on that. So as far as student input to administration or staff at the school, that used to be that would go through ASB. So you would the students would elect class officers out of the population in general, and they'd elect student body officers like ASB officers. Does that not happen any longer?
The thing is that we have more than just the ASB club on campus, and some of those are newer clubs or smaller clubs, and not necessarily all those voices are being heard. And while I do think it's good to have an elected, I guess, president of every club, some members are too afraid to, I guess, go up to that member and tell them their ideas so that those ideas can get to higher officials. So I just think that I don't know. I really don't feel like having a president of a certain club actually helps the whole aspect. I just think that teachers need to actually come into those clubs and see what's going on to get a better idea, because it doesn't really.
So the student body, ASB, is more, you see it more as a club than it actually is a representative body for the students. It's more of a club now than it is actually a government.
Head nodding in the audience.
Government. Okay.
And while the teachers do say that it is, this is student run and student ideas, I feel like I'm personally not an ASB, but I feel like behind the scenes it's mostly teachers telling the students what to say. And I think that they should have the opportunity to express their own ideas without being held on strings by the teachers.
Good
Great,
feedback.
thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Next we have Dawn Hall.
Hi, welcome.
I didn't know I had a fan club. Good evening, Don Hall. I'm the new club director here for the Boys and Girls Club in Carpinteria, and just wanted to introduce myself to the school board, and I've already met your wonderful superintendent, and a number of your students are out there and volunteering at the Boys and Girls Club. So My just point at this juncture is to introduce myself and let you know that I'll be involved, and we certainly value the school district as one of our key partners because that's where the kids are. And we're all about kids and helping them become successful adults. So if anybody's interested in volunteering, come back and see me. I know there are lots of opportunities at the club, and we'd love to have our students be active and help some of the youngsters that come to our facility with homework, etc. So again, happy to be a partner with the school district.
Great. Welcome
Thank
to
you.
Carpinteria.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Looks like we have one more coming up here.
I think so.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, we have Sarah Anguiano.
Hi, my name's Sarah Anguiano. I'm a senior. One thing is, wait, can I see the paper actually? Can I see the paper? Yes, of course. One thing was for the fire safe, the earthquake or the drill we had to do, the intercom is broken, so it's harder to communicate. So I know for my classroom, we didn't hear it, so we didn't know what was going on. And all of our intercoms are broken, which makes communication harder and less efficient. And like the thing, fire drill, half the people didn't know what was happening. So I think
What
that's a big thing.
classroom were you in during the
Mr.
drill?
Gomez's classroom.
Okay.
He
What
didn't
number
like
is that?
receive the email or like the intercom.
The
didn't work.
F-
field physics lab.
Yeah,
Okay.
FFA, yeah.
Oh, FFA?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like we didn't know what was happening and stuff.
Thank you for that.
Didn't happen.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you for letting us know.
I love student engagement. Yes, we got another one coming.
Yeah, feel it out. You're going to speak and then give it to me.
Yeah. All right. Hi.
Hi, I'm Mariana Camposano, and I'm in the ASB class. And so like the past couple years, we've had a teacher for it, but like now we don't have it, and they didn't hire anyone, so it's basically just student run by now. And like it makes it really difficult because they like put like just a random teacher that's not experienced in that to basically run it, and they don't really know what they're doing. Like I'm not gonna blame it on them, but like it's really hard. And
So you'd like some more guidance from
yeah,
Uh,
and like we don't really get to
experienced
say, or like we don't get a say in that class as much. It's more like they're telling us what to do.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Good feedback.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Vicky Gonzalez, and I just wanted to speak to the part about why parents may not feel heard. I'm new to the school district with my daughter, but not new to the area because I'm a local. Last year we had a few incidences of safety, with threats and social media and whatnot, and I think the challenge is hearing different stories from the kids, from the parents. Also being a mental health provider myself, I'm hearing other stories. And so trying to piece that together, I think an idea I have that worked at a previous school we were at is we had either quarterly or monthly coffees with the principal. And I don't know if it's done in the schools or not, but I think that if every school had a monthly coffee where parents could be invited, and if we knew what the topic was, we would be more motivated to attend. This month we're talking about suicide awareness. This week we're talking about social media, online safety, and being able to ask questions. So I would suggest that be done so that more parents participated. And as a new parent to the school last year, as an 11th grade parent, I was probably one of those that voted it low. I was very disappointed in the way it was handled. And when I emailed, the person I emailed, they did handle it in the moment, but there was no follow-up. What's going to be different next time? And that's very concerning given the climate of our area. So I would appreciate like a monthly coffee or something with the principal.
Thank you.
Great.
And vice
Thank you.
Question. Yes. Thanks. All right. We really, really appreciate
Oh, yes.
that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's very
Yeah.
helpful.
Great.
All of that from local indicators.
It is.
Wow. Yes, thank you.
be the hot item.
I just
You can step back up to the mic.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. We're running ahead of schedule today, so that's good. He's very articulate.
He is.
Yeah.
I apologize to the rest of my peers for holding it up like this concerning yesterday's council meeting. It's just that I want to ask more about the Chromebooks. And basically, I'm not saying I'm jealous that I'm not getting them since I'm leaving next year. More of the fact that I would ask about the cost to benefit ratio of getting the Chromebooks, because I remember, I believe it was either my sophomore or freshman year, that we got smart boards, or at least one of the teachers got a smart board that never worked, and it jumped from classroom to classroom before eventually being thrown out.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
And I just wouldn't want a situation like that happening again.
Right.
And so I would ask you guys to, before implementing this, see how much it's improved the freshmen's learning.
Yes.
I imagine that's why you gave it to the freshmen. But, because to be honest, I would rather extra money that you may possess go to the payroll of staff, such as custodians and teaching staff. Because I had a teacher who I will not name, because I don't want to get him fired or something, who's complaining about the fact that we cut our custodial staff to a degree that we had like 3 men for a job. Now we only have 1. I didn't get the specifics on that, and again, I wouldn't wish to name them in fear of them suffering repercussions, but that's something you may wish to look into.
Thanks.
Thank you. Another one coming?
We have Diane Paris.
Hi, Diane.
I'm Diane Perez. I would actually also like to talk about the Chromebooks. I personally think it's a little ridiculous, the fact that only freshmen got them. I don't see them writing any essays, honestly. I would much rather prefer to have the juniors and seniors have the Chromebooks rather than the freshmen that only basically do vocab and flashcards and no essays. I believe it's preparing the juniors and seniors for college who actually, need them and will be writing lots and lots of essays in college. But, I mean, I guess the freshmen need them more than seniors. Also, sorry, lost track. I just would much rather prefer preparing these juniors and seniors that are going off to college than the freshmen who don't really use them. That's all I would like to say.
Thank you.
Also, just mentioning on what Diane said, we're doing college applications in FAFSA right now, and a lot of us have to stay after school to do that because at home we don't have internet access. And right now the seniors also have a lot of like AP classes, and a lot of us who have poli-sci, we all know it's online curriculum. So it would be much more helpful that the seniors have them because they're applying to colleges.
Thank you.
Another grant.
Okay. Good. Last call.
Somebody else's. That wasn't her. It was for somebody else.
I know.
Okay, we got one more.
This is it. I know.
Hi everyone. My name's Eliana Gonzalez. On behalf of our club, Youth Wellness Connections, I don't know if you guys are aware, we're a club that's focusing on breaking the stigma around mental health issues, along with being allies of the LGBTQ plus community. In regards to you guys mentioning getting full-time therapists and whatever, I think that's really important, and that the faster we can get it implemented would be the best. Because I know for myself,
if I had, this is really personal, I'm sorry, but if I had a therapist that I felt like I could go to without feeling terribly burdensome, I would take advantage of it. I know there are certain students at our school that have been going through some extremely hard times but feel like they don't have anybody to reach out to. I feel like if you worked with Youth Wellness Connections, we could probably get a grant through the Mental Wellness Center out of Santa Barbara. They're really good about working with their students and staff with getting proper training, grants, and stuff like that. They do extremely well with council member training. Yeah, I think it'd be a really good thing because I know a lot of us seniors are extremely stressed. So if we felt like we had somebody to go to, it'd be a lot better. And for the upcoming classes, I think it'd be a really good experience to be able to have somebody to talk to as they're going through things and not having to wait till the very last minute.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that resource.
Yes, thank you.
So you probably noticed the superintendent was writing down everything you guys said, and I'm sure she's going to share that with the leadership, which is all the principals, and maybe even show a section of this board meeting in a meeting.
Yeah, I'd just like to say how proud I am of all of you.
Yes, thank
because everyone who spoke tonight, and I'm sure there's many more of you out there, but you're all going to be extremely successful at whatever you choose to do because you're able to speak your mind and you're very eloquent in what you say, and it's very perceptive, and that's going to serve you well, and no matter what you do in life. So I'm really proud of you guys, and I think your parents, I'm certainly are as well, and your teachers should be as well. So, good job.
Just to comment on that, we have meetings every 2 weeks, and the agenda is published the Friday before the meeting, so don't let this be your last time that you speak at our meetings. If you see something on the agenda that involves you, that you have input, please come out and share your thoughts with us. So, thank you.
I'm going to pass this on. I only have one, but I sit on the board of the Mental Wellness Center, and my daughter is a part of the club. She's been in it for 2 years. And so it's clubs raising mental health awareness, promoting wellness, and reducing stigma through connection, education, and outreach. So I only have one. I'll hand it to you. But we're hoping to find a way to connect with you all so that we can implement some more programs. The Mental Health Matters program, educating more children other than just the freshman class as well.
Right.
So
Thank you.
Right. Yes.
And, our board seats will be up for re-election in the future. So you can always run for school board and help make some of these decisions. Okay?
Good job.
Yeah, thank you. All right, and since you spoke of money, we're on to E6, which is our budget update for October. So you get to see what we spend our money on.
So the most exciting part, not. Okay. So we have committed to bring a budget update to the board every month. This is the October update. This time of year, not a whole lot is happening. You had a major revision brought last month. I was not at that September board meeting, but I know it was presented by Superintendent Rigby. So what you're seeing now is the budget that was presented in September. What we have, this was as of the 23rd of October with actuals through October 12th. And what this is intended to do really is show any revisions to revenue and expense, as well as show what we're spending and is it tracking to that budget. And so this is really early in the year. What you're going to see in that blue column and in those percentages is that we haven't gotten a lot of revenue. This time of year, that just doesn't come in. Because we're a basic aid district, which means we are funded by property taxes, those come in December when taxes are collected, in April when taxes are collected, and then again in the first part of July for the June settle up. And so that's when the chunk of our money comes in, and then you have some other monies that come in throughout the year. And then as far as our expenses, we have just about a little over 16.5% of our budget spent, which is about where we should be, considering that September is the first month our teachers are paid, and so this is really only 1 month of teacher salary, not even the October payroll. And then July and August are only certain employees that get paid in the summer. The budget changes on the next slide are pretty minimal. We did receive the October estimate of property taxes from Santa Barbara County. It is only $27,000 different from my projection at this point down. Now, that projection is, remember, it was reduced based on the reduced assessed value for the disasters, and it was reduced due to some one-time impounds that had come in on prior year. There's the talk that the governor signed a property tax relief bill to relieve the taxes lost due to the disasters. In my conversation with the county, they really have no idea what that's going to mean. So they're trying to figure it out. I don't believe there's any dollar value associated to what that relief looks like. So there really is no way for the county to really even give me a ballpark or how much that will mean to us. This, the estimate in our current budget has a $179,000 reduction in property taxes. We could get all of it, we could get some of it, and it may not even be settled for another year or more, but depending on how that happens. Some other minor revenue changes. EPA is our education protection account. That's part of state aid. Mandated block grant lottery that's adjusted for the per prior year per pupil in costs. That again is a moving number. It gets settled every quarter. It changes. And then the most significant change is a change in our counting for our SELPA. So we used to net this in our budget and in the SELPA, and this year they're requiring it to be shown as revenue and then paid out as an expense. And that's for the direct services that are the SELPA provides to us. So it comes right off of our AB 602 funding. So the net change to our budget's like $2,000 out of $28 million. Pretty minimal. What that does to the multi-year, it takes us to, it very fractionally changed our multi-year. I mean, $2,000 is very fractional. So it does show that we have adequate reserves for the current and 2 subsequent years. I will tell you that the budget is a fluid document. It evolves. Revenue in public schools isn't known until usually books are closed sometimes. And so we will continue to update it as we have any other projections. The biggest change that may happen in the budget, and it may not be a change, but it's an update, will be in the event that our union does ratify the agreement that we have a TA on, then that will be finalized, and then the budget will be adjusted based on the salary schedule changes. I don't expect it will do a whole lot different to these numbers, but it'll be an adjustment. After this, we will have our first interim update, and that will be December at the December board meeting. I'll bring an update in November based on our spending, but you won't see much of a budget change at all.
Questions or comments for Maureen?
Could I make a point that last year at this time, you'll notice that we're $627,000 in the red, but last year at this time it was over $1 million. So we're changing that trend, but still we need to reduce our expenses.
Thank you, Maureen. Okay, we're on to item E7, Measure U expenditure reports as of September 30th, 2018. Cindy, are you doing this one? Okay.
Good evening. Last Tuesday, the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee met, as they do quarterly, to review Measure U budgets and expenditures. And you've been provided a copy of the summary report that we discussed with them. What you'll see, I think, first of all, can I operate it? No, we can scroll it that way, yes. Can I? Yes. I want to go to the bottom line first. It's always fun to look at the bottom line. So you could see the projects are grouped by campus, and you get to page 3, and you can see we have our budgets, and of course the $90 million, which is the bond. And then you can see our expenditures to date at the very bottom. Total expenditures as of September 30th are $19,689,502. So we've almost fully spent the first $20 million. So it's a really good thing that the bond sale will be finalized on November 8th, and we'll have another $40 million to finance our projects. It was a very busy summer. We had a lot of projects going on, and I'll just scroll back up to the top and we can talk briefly about the projects. The ones highlighted in yellow are the projects that occurred over the summer. So starting with Aliso, you can see there's the front entry gate, and you can see the budget and the expenditures. One of the things you'll notice about most of these projects is even as of September 30th, a lot of the contractors haven't been fully paid. And that's just a timing thing. Sometimes it takes several months for contractors to submit and for us to process their invoices. So the Aliso is a good example of that, where even though the budget was $108,000, we've actually paid out $12,264. The other project at Aliso is the multi-purpose room and the office. The roof was replaced, and so it's now replaced with tile. And you can see here that we had a budget of $326,000 and expenditures to date of $26,000 right there. So again, we'll start seeing more warrants written over the next couple of months to close out the project. Then in the next group of projects, those are all for Catalino School. The highlighted one in yellow is the modular classroom project, and that those buildings have been completed and the students have moved into it. So that's been it's really been great working on it, because you could see so much visually going on. We were around all summer, so we could see the classrooms going in, and going all the way through the process of completing the classrooms and furnishing them was really, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work for everyone, but it was a lot of fun. So you can see here that that's about a $3.9 million project, and we've spent about $2,454,000 on that as of September 30th. So going to the next page, highlighted in yellow for Carpinteria High School. Those of you who went by your school over the summer, it probably looked like a war zone. And that's because we were doing a lot of things up there. We tore out walkways. So the first project was a walkway replacement in the B, F, and G wings. And so that was completed prior to the start of school. And I hope you noticed it. It's like all nice new concrete, so it's pristine still for a little while. The next project is the Gen 7s. There's 2 classrooms. One's a computer lab, and the other is going to be a regular classroom. It's in the back of the campus. So you can see here, budget of $1.4 million, and as of September 30th, we had spent about $685,000. Moving down the list, there were 2 restroom renovations. I hope you like them. I think they really are a lot nicer than what you had. And so those have been completed, and you can see there we had the D wing was a little under $300,000, and it's been almost fully expended as of this point. And then the F and G wing restrooms, the budget was $1,085,000, and we had about $996,000 that we've actually spent as of September 30th. But those projects are complete. We just have to finish paying the contractors. Then going down the line, we did a roof replacement project on the administration building and the cafeteria. And so you can see there, again, that project was completed before school started. And we've spent $673,000 on that. Then the biggest project up at the campus are the science classrooms. And so I hope you've had a chance to peek through the fence and see what's going on. The new Gen 7 classrooms are still under construction, and they will be finished. And you should be moving into those after winter break. So, yeah, I got to see the insides of them for the first time about a week ago, and they are really cool. Really cool. I mean, complete labs for biology and chemistry, and then there's going to be a physics lab as well. So they're really going to be nice classrooms. I hope you'll enjoy those. That was the most expensive project up at the campus. It was about $4.7 million, and we've spent $2.6 million to date on that. Then moving down to Carpinteria Middle School, there were two projects going on there. The main one there are the Gen 7 classrooms. So if you've walked around that campus, you'll see that there are Gen 7 classrooms being installed on that campus as well. And that project we expect to complete and students move in after winter break as well. So it's pretty much at the same stage as the high school. And that project is $4.8 million budgeted, and we've paid out about $973,000. And then finally at the middle school, there was a small restroom renovation project that was also completed over the summer. And then on the last page, the main project that was worked on over the summer was installing a telephone and voicemail system on a couple of campuses. And so that's still a work in progress, and we'll be putting in new phone systems throughout the district, all voice over IP systems. So newer technology than what we've had. So that's a summary of all of the projects. The committee reviews a lot of details by vendor and type of expenditures as well. This is just a summary for information purposes only.
Thanks, Cindy.
Nice job.
I really like that spreadsheet. That's cool.
Really like it? I like it too.
Yeah.
And people have liked it better once I started adding colors, because there were so many numbers on the page.
Yeah.
It was hard to figure out what was going on. So once these projects are completed, they'll turn to gray.
Okay.
And then you'll start seeing, as we're planning and working on the next round of projects, we'll be highlighting those in yellow.
Nice.
Cindy, I have a comment
Sure.
or a question. The total is $90 million, the bond. Will that be enough to cover every phase? Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3?
So
every project?
based
Are
on,
we
I
behind
understand
schedule,
what you're
Are we
saying.
behind? Because I'm hearing you that, well, we have completed this, but we have large bills coming up. So that's my question.
Right. So initially, when we were doing all of our conceptual plans for each of the campuses, everybody understood we were trying to work with the $90 million, but there are obviously things that staff and parents and the community would like to see on their campuses that were part of the conceptual plans, which we may not have enough funding for. So one of the things we're doing is applying for state funds. We get grants for a lot of these projects. So we already have an application in to cover the costs of Canalino's Gen 7 classrooms. And we're going to be putting in applications for the high school science wing and computer lab, and for the middle school Gen 7 classrooms, and then also all the other classroom modernization projects at each of the campuses. If we get that state money, it will make a difference in terms of whether we get through our list or not.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you, Cindy.
Thanks.
Nice job. Thanks, Cindy.
Monica, any more comment for E8? Nothing? Okay, great. Okay, we're going to move on to board policies. So we have F1 Board Policy 6142.7. It's around instruction for physical education. This is the first reading.
I'd like to move to approve the first reading of our existing policy, current policy.
Second.
So any discussion around that?
So I just want to clarify that we had 2 documents that we were reviewing, right? And Andy, your motion is to approve the current one, which
current-
is in compliance.
Current policy with no changes.
Okay.
So, Rogelio, do you want to explain what work we did at the policy subcommittee?
Yes, basically, we have it on paper, and this is the key to this policy. What it says instructions, it says in recognition of carpentry students who may be at risk for obesity, and because of this community's historic interest and value for PE, the governing board strives to create a comprehensive and equitable TK through 12 physical education program that is funded and implemented fairly across all school sites. And this is the physical education and activity policy that we discussed with Maureen and with you, Diana, and this is we present this to the board for approval.
What was the reasoning behind citing Title IX and Title VI?
We are okay. Title IX, just talking about physical education, quality between males and females. This is something that was added, Title IX and Title VI. Title VI, it's protects everyone from discrimination based on race, color, or national origin. This is for protection.
And this wasn't CSBA recommended. This is out of the city project template. What's that?
Correct.
Our city, Carpinteria City project template?
Los
Or-
Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, we decided to complement with that. That was written Title IX and Title VI, and that's what we decided to add to the current policy.
So why did we have to? What was it about our current policy that needed revision?
Well, it didn't include Title VI and Title IX or Title IX.
But that's not what CSBA is recommending, right? The yellow is not CSBA, right? The yellow is the city
And
project.
as long as correct, as long as the first paragraph that I read, this was added on
Right.
for our district. Instead of talking in general, we're talking about our district.
Well, yeah, the whole policy is about our district, right? So,
Is there more you wanted to add?
Oh,
okay.
This is it. No, this is it.
Yeah, I think our current policy it represents our community, and I think it satisfies the all the rules and regulations that are mandated by us or of us.
Okay. Any
Well, actually, we added this because sometimes there's something that we think that it is included, but it's not. So that's why we added this Title 6 and Title 9 for protection.
Okay, so the motion was to accept the policy as stands.
Correct.
Andy Smith, right, okay, so we're going to vote on that. So the motion was to keep the current board policy 6142.7 without revisions. Is that what your motion was?
Yes.
And a seconded. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and vote on that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Do you have a vote?
I agree.
So
with
aye?
you.
Okay,
Aye.
so 4 ayes. So board policy stands with no revisions. Okay. Great. Okay, we're on to H, business operations and facilities, H1 warrants.
Move to approve warrants.
Second?
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. H2, gifts, grants, and donations. We have a donation from Village Properties Teachers Fund to Aliso teacher Jennifer Clark in the amount of $350 for leveled reading books.
I move to approve with gratitude.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
H2B, donation from Next Careers First Tech Challenge Program, Southern California Rockwell Collins Team Gran to Step Up After School Program Specialist at Carpinteria High School, David Pennington, in the amount of $600.
Move to approve with gratitude to a well-deserving teacher.
Yeah. For robotics, yeah. Can I get a second?
Second?
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Did we get that? Okay. H3 is resolution number 18-837 of the Governing Board of the Carpinteria Unified School District regarding annual developer fee report for fiscal year 2017-2018.
Move to approve.
Second?
Roll call.
Rogelio.
Aye.
Jacqueline.
Aye.
Michelle.
Aye.
I'm aye.
We're on to I, Measure U. I-1, very exciting, acceptance of completed contract, modular classrooms for Catalina with Shaw Contracting, Inc.
Move to approve.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item J, J1, personnel summary.
Move to approve.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we're on to board communications. Rogelio?
Yes, actually I have 3 advices for our students, 3 choices. One, soon you will be making a decision where to go for your future. One is Santa Barbara City College. It's ranked number 1 in the nation, and you have the promise, meaning that for 2 years you don't pay anything, or your parents don't pay anything. So I would say take advantage of that now that you have it. We don't know for how long it's going to be there. So as long as I keep the promise to yourself that you're going to think about probably going to City College and then transfer to a 4-year college. Number 2, can go to UCSB. You're close to home. And if you have a 3.7 GPA, you'll have a 2,000 chancellor's scholarship. That's a fact. So get your GPA above 3.7 if possible. Now, actually, the average GPA this year, 4.28. It's getting higher. It's getting higher. And this is UCSB's was ranked like probably 2 months ago, so as number 5. Number 3 is that you can go to far away. Cabrera High School has sent a lot of you to the better universities. Stanford, Yale, Columbia, Harvard, Boston University. I mean, the choice is yours. But you have to keep your GPA as high as possible and hit the books hard. And you will, believe me, you will write a lot of essays pretty soon. And I just want you to be ready for life. And just keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you. Jacqueline?
I want to thank all of you for coming out. It's been a really, really interesting board meeting, getting feedback. I want to thank those of you who spoke and give us feedback. It's really valuable for us to hear from you. I would encourage you to go back to the class and have a discussion with your fellow classmates and ask them to not only to come out, but look at the agenda, see what they want to speak on, and continue to give us feedback. So thank you so much. And Halloween is coming up. Happy, safe Halloween. Do you guys still go trick-or-treating?
Good.
Well, start giving candy. It's your turn. So happy Halloween.
Andy?
I'd just like to say I really enjoyed the Mr. Warrior, especially some of the comedians that were there. I think there was a lot of talent, and it was good to see. And it was good to see the enthusiasm and school spirit. And also just like to comment on the WASC visit we had and how, I think we all think we have a great high school, which we do, but to hear it from some very, kind of really disinterested people to come up there and say they really wish they could be teaching at our school, and how great it was. That was music to our ears. So I think just hats off to the staff there, to the students. for making the school what it is. So thank you.
I just wanted to thank the elementary staff and students. We had our board tours with them last week or the week before. I can't remember, but always just walking through the classrooms and seeing the students engaged and the just staff so on it, and it was really exciting, and we're very proud of them. And with that, we have board calendar, and so our secondary schools we will be visiting next Tuesday. So you will see us on your campus. We'll wave at you guys. We'll make sure we see Mr. Bison's room. We'll tell Mr. Cornejo to take us there. And do we have anything else on the calendar we need? Okay.
Yes, we have a few things. So just like you said, on October 30th, the board will be visiting all the secondary schools. It's going to start 8 a.m. at the high school. That's where you meet. Then you're going to go to Rincon and then CMS. Then on November 15th, so the meeting in November is not going to be on the Tuesday. It's going to be on the Thursday, which is November 15, due to the holiday that it's on the 12th. So because of that, all the meetings have to be moved ahead. So
Did I get that?
Yes.
What day is that?
I didn't get
Yes.
it's in the calendar, in the yearly calendar.
Yes,
Yeah, we're
you're
still
there.
on the board.
You're there.
I won't be there.
I know.
You can-
Yeah. We're sorry.
November 15th is
November
next regular
15.
board meeting? It's a Thursday.
No,
No.
November. Yeah. It was published in July that it was November 15th.
Okay, I won't be here.
Yeah, so
We saw that.
Okay.
yeah,
Yes, because the city moves us when there's a 3-day weekend. So they moved us on Thursday, and we published it in July. So it's been published.
Okay.
Yeah. We're just reminding you.
Got it.
Yes.
and then in January 15, this is January 15, 2019, there is going to be a meeting at the district office for the new incoming, board members, and it's the governance workshop with Terry Lynn Finder from the Full Frost and Freeman and Fegan, and that is going to be from 4 to 8 p.m. in the conference room at the district office.
That's the entire board.
Yeah.
The entire new board.
New board.
That's their initial governance workshop.
Any questions?
Nope.
So next meeting is on Thursday.
Yes.
Correct.
All right, future agenda items, we still have sea level rise presentation by city, another Measure U project update. Is there anything else for consideration?
I just want to remind everybody that the public hearing for the disposition of the Baylord property and Whitney property is November 8th, Thursday night, 6 o'clock, in the district conference room.
November
November
8th.
November 8th, Thursday night, district conference room, 6 o'clock.
Are any of you students 18 going to be voting November 6th? Excellent. All right. All right, we are officially adjourned.